Hi, I'm Matt, and this is my first live stream. Just a few things. There might be quite a bit of noise in the background because this is the third attempt I've tried to do this, and my camera actually keeps overheating. So I actually have a massive fan behind it, blowing air on it. So if you do hear a bit of background noise, it's probably the massive fan that's behind the camera. But I'm traveling at the minute, so my setup's a bit different. I've got my trusty OP1 with me, thankfully, and I've got 3 pedals here. I've got the NUX Amp Academy, which essentially I'm just using as an audio interface for this. But who knows, maybe we'll pump some guitar amp modeling via the OP1. I've got the Old Blood Dark Light, which is a reverb / delay pedal, which I absolutely love. And I've got the Source Audio C4 synth pedal, which I might use, I might not, but, we'll see. Another thing I wanted to mention, because I'm traveling, and this is kind of the first live stream I've done, you'll see me looking over here quite a bit, because this is kind of where I've got like all the camera switching and stuff like that. Well, there's only one camera, but I've set some things up where I can kind of have the camera zoom in on me or go down to the instruments, and then obviously switching to Ableton as well. So I think it's probably good to jump into Ableton, I suppose, and start there. I've got no real premise for this song at all. Sometimes when I'm writing, I'm just flying with it. But to start off with, most of the time, I'm going to start off with some drums. I'm going to use the 808 kick. Let's drag this along, and I'm just going to create a kick drum pattern just on the 1, 2, and the 4, and maybe like a hi-hat on the 1, 2, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Sorry. So if we listen to that, cool. And it's very likely that that will change, but I just want a basis for that. Actually, something I've not even mentioned is that the idea is that I'm going to write a song in 1 hour, and I've not actually started the counter yet, which is over here in this little corner here, there. And I'll start that in a sec, actually. In fact, I'll start it now because I've already started playing. I've already started writing the drums. But my first ever video I posted on this channel was me trying to write a song in an hour, and I always wanted to return to that, but I never did until now. And I just thought I wanted to make it a bit more interesting and try to do it with the live stream. Anyways, let's get back into Ableton. What I'm going to do now we've got this beat, I'm going to go to the OP1, and I've got it on one of the cluster sounds, which is on the OP1, which I absolutely love. And it's this kind of lovely, like, little kind of ambient-y sound. I'm going to make it sound even better and put it through the dark light, and I'm going to use the delay and the reverb. I've got the delay set up as a pitch shifting thing, so you'll hear that it kind of creates this higher kind of octave of the notes that I'm playing. So let's just start recording and see what comes to me. Okay. Yeah, let's go with that for now. Interesting, because I actually played it. Just press some hotkey and open up Edge. Let's close that. It's interesting because I actually played it on the second note rather than the first, but that'll do. Okay. Yeah, switch the kick drum around a little bit there to match the actual what I played. Let's just copy that. Okay, and now I'm going to try create a second part of the OP1. I'm going to go down an octave, and I'm just going to press record and see what we can come up with. Oh, I had the wrong track selected to record. interesting. I'm not sure, but I quite like this last bit I did. Some crossfades in there as well, so it doesn't sound so jarring. Yeah, for now, let's just copy that, see. More crossfades. And what I want to do is I want to sidechain this kick with both of these synth parts. So I'm going to use the glue compressor, click sidechain, click the 808 as the input from. I also want to use the EQ filter, so we're basically cutting out all the high end, so it's only focusing on the low end. Let me put our thresholds. You can hear that working away. I'm going to put it on both of these parts. Okay, cool. And let's look at what else we can get with the OP1. I'm going to change the sound. Let's see what we've got here. Turn the dark light off for now. It's quite an interesting sound. Let's try to use this. I'm also actually going to use the Amp Academy and put it through one of the first guitar amps I've got on there, which I think is like a kind of a Fender. Cool. Right, let's I'm going to press record and see what we can come up with as our third layer. Yeah, kind of interesting. Just gonna keep that for now. I think what I'm gonna do to add some more interest is add the baby audio space. What's it called? I use it all the time. Oh no, I don't have it on this. Ah. Okay. Yeah. So this, not all my plugins are on this laptop either, which is frustrating. So the plugin I actually wanted to use isn't on here. It's kind of interesting. What do we have on here? Okay, let's just use one of the Ableton built-in reverbs. And let's use the ambient preset for now. See how it's sounding. very quiet. Size and decay up a bit. I'm going to also copy the glue compressor over there, so we've got that sidechain on there. What I want to do as well is put a low cut on the two higher kind of OP1 parts. I'm going to cut it just past like 100 just to clean the mix up a little bit. In fact, I'm going to apply this to all the OP1 parts. Because I quite like the idea of maybe having more of a better bass sound. Like I kind of want to go with kind of something quite subby for this. I also, what I want to do is kind of have the drums kind of put a high cut on there and slowly filter it. So you're getting more of the high end come in. So you kind of, it starts off very low and then you start to get that high end come in. So automate. Now, hang on a minute. I've got my computer keyboard set, so A doesn't work. There we go. That always gets me, to be honest. You press A, expecting automation to come on, but because you've got your computer, it's the computer MIDI keyboard, which you press M to set, which means you can use the keyboard to play MIDI notes, which is really handy. But if you don't realize that's set on, your A key doesn't work to automate. So I'm going to copy this to the second and third OP1 parts we wrote. I mean, so far this is sounding quite ambient-y, I'd say. I think what I want to do is let's bring in a plugin I do have on here, which I'm pretty certain of because I used it the other day, is another one by Baby Audio, which is their BA1, which is really, really, really cool. It's a really, really cool plugin. So I'm going to, I'm pretty sure this was in B. Yeah. I'm going to use this for the bass, so we want to go low B to start off with. Extend the length of this. And for now, I'm just going to try to figure out the notes I want to actually use. And we can change the sounds later on. Go high or lower? I'm going to go lower. Let's have a look at the sounds we have here. That's pretty cool. I want to put a low pass on there though, or high cut, depending on your terminology. I actually had this debate with someone a couple of months ago about the right term for high pass or low cut, essentially, but it's like they mean the same thing, in my opinion. You know? Actually, I don't want to automate that, so there we go. We can get a little bit more high end in there. Nice. We don't want the bass to come in straight away, so maybe I'll have it come in Maybe not for 16 bars actually. And what I'm going to do is look at this drum part, because I don't think I want that hi-hat to be in straight away. It's just that kick drum. And have the hi-hat part come in when the bass comes in as well. Oh, let's copy the automation. Let's get rid of that. Clean that up a little bit. Don't like that note there, so I'm just going to copy those. That last bit I did in the OP1, I'm just going to copy the very first bit and then loop that. Fade out that kind of last note as well, because it doesn't really work. Cool, and as you could hear, the hi-hat was slowly coming in because of that low pass filter we had that was slowly bringing in the high. And then I want to change it up slightly, just change it slightly tonally. How long have we got? 40, wow, okay. We've still got 45 minutes. It's kind of surprising, actually. I thought maybe we would have already used a lot more time than that. Okay, let's go back to Ableton. And have a think. I think for this next bit, I want to go just 4 on the floor. So the kick on, the 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I also want to bring in a new kit part. I want something quite heavy. I quite like the sound of the kick in that part, so let's try that. Okay, and then I want to change the bass note. Maybe go up to A, maybe. This is obviously too high at the minute, but I'm just trying to figure the notes. Go to the G. F sharp maybe. And make that an octave lower. I'll just copy some of these little bits and see. I'm also going to put the sidechain compressor on the bass for this bit. And automate it off, and then have it automate to come on for this next section. Just chopping and copying these little bits from the original OP1 parts. Maybe have like an offbeat hi-hat come in for this section. Yeah, it's a nice sound. Okay, cool. Yes, obviously an abrupt stop there. So I think I quite like the idea, maybe having like almost like a crescendo. So this part that kind of gets bigger and bigger, and then it just kind of drops down to this bass and the drum. I want to make the drum a bit more punchy, I think, as well. Oh, wrong camera. Okay. So what we can do, I'm going to group these OP1 parts. Call them OP1. Ooh. And can I have a look at the, I just hope it's actually installed. And it's not, damn. I was going to use the Baby Audio, what's it called? The Baby Audio Transit 2, which is amazing. It's an amazing plugin. But unfortunately, I don't have it installed on this. And if I do another live stream, I'll make sure all the plugins are installed on this bloody laptop. Because it's kind of silly. Because I predominantly write on a Mac. I've got a MacBook Air that I mostly write my music on, and use this for a lot of other kind of work things, really. So even though I did a lot of the Learn With Me's on this computer, I think because with the Learn With Me's, I was using a lot more organic instruments. I had guitars, and I'm wasting time because I've already got less than 40 minutes now. So I'm going to stop talking about other things and get back into Ableton. Okay, so what can I use to create this effect that I'm thinking of? Let's just try do it with a reverb. Convolutional reverb. I don't think I've even used this before. Let's have a look at what this does. I mean, it sounded quite nice, but it wasn't doing enough. Oh, hybrid reverb. This is a good one. Just make this, I'm pushing the decay up quite a lot on the sides because I want to make it quite extreme. Ooh, I want to automate this, the size when we're getting close to the end, just for that, because I quite like that kind of glitchiness. Oops, just automate the wrong thing. And then I wonder if I just put that the wet and dry signal, could put it completely dry when we get to that, gets the kick in. So hear it in context to everything else. Okay, yeah, that's kind of cool. I feel like I need to add like maybe a cymbal in there. I also want to work on this bass as well because it's not, I want it to be a lot more heavy. So I'm going to copy the A1 part and let's have a listen to this on its own. Kind of want to find a heavier sound. Now I'm pretty sure, because I don't have Izotope's trash installed on this machine, which is kind of gutting, I'm going to see whether, I'm pretty sure I've got some kind of overdrive plugin that I bought from Waves a long time ago. I just can't remember the name. Oh yeah, Berserk, that's it. Yeah, I've used this a few times because you kind of get some really cool effects out of it. Let's go through the presets because we're on a time constraint. That's cool. I want to put the compressor after that so the sidechain's working a little bit better. I'm going to be extreme and just copy this again. Cool. Right, I just need to find some kind of symbol. Let's create a new audio track. Quite like that. Oh, yeah, I like that. Just lower the volume of it because it's a bit extreme. Only a little bit more. And we need to put a low cut on this other part because it's going to be conflicting with the actual bass. And a lot of time I always use the OP1 plugin by Waves because I find that you can drop down the dB level a lot more with this EQ. Yeah, good. And then what I'm thinking, this might be a bit extreme, but there's a Waves plugin called, I think it's Submarine. Which, where are you? Why can't I see it? Oh, there it is. Looking at the wrong bit. Now this thing is like usually when I create sub, I always want to kind of do it using like a synth, like a Moog or something like that. But this plugin does a pretty good job at generating your lower sub and then your like an octave lower and then a double octave lower as well, so 2 octaves lower. And sometimes it does an amazing job. Sometimes it's just really messy. But for this, I'm going to try it and see how it sounds because sometimes it does actually do a really good job. So you first want to play it, you're going to see this. If we just put the wedge signal completely and listen to that first. Yeah, I mean, that's very, very low. I'm going to just turn my volume up a little bit quickly. Yeah, that's super low. Let's see the... Yeah, it's a little bit messy. It's not as clean as I would have liked. So I'm not going to use that. What I might actually do is get a low cut on this as well and then get another synth in there to do the low end. Obviously, I want to have that low cut deactivated when we're in that first section, and then I'll have it activate once we get to this new chorus. Yeah, you can hear that the bass drops out. So now what I need to do is create another MIDI track. This will be our sub. In fact, maybe we're going to rename it sub. Now I'll just copy the same synth part and let me think what will generate. Oh, actually, let's use the operator. It's Ableton's own, because this is literally just a FLAC, where you can use it almost like a frequency generator. Let's just go an octave lower. There we go. That creates some nice clean bass. But we want to put the sidechain compressor on there as well. Let's just push the attack a little bit, just to remove those little clicking sounds. I'm also going to get this cymbal and reverse it just before the kick in. Obviously it's created this kind of fade. What I like to do sometimes is just create a little bar of silence in there. Or it's not actually a bar, is it? It's like 16th of a bar, I think, or it depends what meshes you use. Yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Not bad considering I didn't really have, I'm just going with the flow with this. Didn't really have a real plan, which I know some people might think is crazy, but I'm just flying with it. Although I'm sure those people do that as well. Okay, so our next section, we have yeah, that's sounding pretty cool. I guess the trick is just to keep making it bigger and bigger now. Would be an idea, maybe. So I'm going to copy all this. Let's copy that, reverse again. And maybe let's go back on the OP1 and think of maybe some of our lead part maybe for this. And create a new audio track. And go through the sounds. That's already really cool. This is why I love the OP1. This is why I take it with me everywhere, because the sounds you can get out of it are just amazing. I'm also really happy, as a side note, that this big fan is keeping the camera cool. So I'm super happy about that. I'm sorry if there's a lot of noise on this microphone. It's just the only solution. Where I am right now is very hot. I would say this flat right now is probably like, I'd estimate it's like 25 degrees at least. Maybe it feels like 30. That's probably not. Okay, let's try record. Let's see how this sounds. We're getting something in there. I'm just going to jam along with it first. Something like that. It sounds a little bit out of key though, but I'm going to try to record it anyways and see what we can get. Just realised I'm not actually recording that. Also, let's just rename that, or name it as well, so we know it's the OP1. Okay, let's try that again. Yeah, that was kind of cool, let's hear that in context. I'm probably going to add some effects to it just to make it kind of really kick in a bit more. Add a little fade in there. Let's put a low cut on that as well. A little bit out of time. But maybe we can fix that. I mean, I'm going to be real lazy here and just maybe see if Ableton's little actually, no, it's not going to work properly because I'm playing triplets and I think it's going to fall over. So let's... That little bit there is slightly out, so I'm just going to very horribly cut it out and see if that sounds okay. Cool. And I think what would be really nice actually is adding some reverb to this and having the reverb, the dry signal getting louder, and the wet signal getting louder and the dry signal getting quieter as it's building up as well, just to kind of make it sound nice and big. And I'm going to use Ableton's own hybrid reverb for this again, because I'm a big fan of it. I mean, it already sounds nice with like reverb on it. And I want to do what I did last time with the size, automate the size, so you kind of get that almost like pitch shifting effect, maybe halfway through. And I'll start having it come halfway through, and then what else do we do? Oh, the wet and dry signal. Maybe push that up to 70% by the end of it. And also the kick drum the kick drum stopped halfway through, and I quite liked that effect, so I'm going to keep that in there. And then let's actually widen the signal as well as it's moving, as it's going along. So let's have a listen to that in context. Yes, that's interesting because I've a little bit dipped out for some reason. I copy and paste that there. Okay, that's kind of interesting. And looking at the timer, we've got like just over 20 minutes left of the hour, so that's good. Right, okay. Maybe after that we can go back to this kind of intro part. Although I'm not sure how this is all going to work contextually. I'm going to copy this cymbal part as well. So I'm going to go back to this section, and I might just keep it as 4 on the floor when we get to this next section as well. No, I don't think that works. Yeah, maybe we can't go back to the intro. Not sure. sure what's happened here, to be honest. I wonder if we just keep this continuing on to the next section. Quite like, maybe now I've heard this, I quite like the idea that maybe it kind of goes like the bass. Maybe we can do that. Maybe after 4 bars. Do this. I don't know if this is going to be the right sound. Let's try it. It is A, this is in, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, it needs to be faster than that. Yeah, put an octave lower. Kind of want a little bit more separation between those notes. Now I want to put a high cut on this part as well, just to clean it up a little bit because it's a little bit too harsh. I'm going to use the Q1 by Waves again for this. And automate it, so maybe 2 bars before this drop, it kind of comes down a little bit. Maybe as it goes on, it keeps going down. I really wish I had Izotope's trash installed on this computer because I'd love to automate that in with that bass and just have it going, like getting bigger and bigger as it goes. What I'm going to do though is duplicate this bass and actually try do that with this. What's the name of it? The Berserker by Waves. I'm going to try. Put that on there and automate that because I do like the idea this bass kind of builds up and maybe it just stays on that note and then it changes and we had kind of this like dramatic change because you're kind of waiting for it to change and then it finally does. So I'm just going to go through the presets to save time. That's actually really cool. I might even just use that as the replacement for the actual bass. That's cool. I want to duplicate that again, and I want to just have it getting more and more distorted as time goes on. But first thing I want to do is add a low cut to this because we only need 1 sub channel or 1 channel that's carrying a lot of bass. Let's push it past maybe just past 125. So, oh, excuse me. That's the problem with live streaming. You can't hide things. You can't edit out little burps and stuff. So sorry about that. I need like a little mute button. I can mute myself for next time. Right, so let's have a look at this. That's pretty cool. It sounds horrendous on its own, but once I've got some filtering going on, I think it'll work. And then here, just as it's getting really repetitive, or just about to get repetitive, we change the note up to, I think, F, maybe E. And then I'm going to go then to F sharp. Then maybe from here we go back to, I guess, the chorus section. Not really sure what to call. What I want to do is look at these frequencies here, because I quite like the idea it kind of calms down a little bit. I also want to get a low cut on the actual bass, just to give it a bit of impact when we actually get back to this kind of second part, or chorus. Sorry, not making much sense. Sorry. Let's do this. I mean, this is 3 minutes and 30 seconds long. So it's actually kind of like a length of a song. And I guess section-wise, there's kind of like, you've got this intro, chorus, breakdown, chorus structure. What I want to do is maybe have a look at the intro again, because I think that needs a lot of work. Okay, yeah, I think the weak part is probably these drums here. I think that's what I need to work on. I've got less than 12 minutes, so maybe that's what I can do in the last 12 minutes, is figure out these drums. More of the sound than the parts themselves, I think. And I love that pitch shifting thing that I used with the hybrid reverb. Need to work on the timing as well a little bit, because it's slightly off in some of the sections. Okay, cool. So I think really the biggest parts I need to do here is probably just sort the drums out. It's mainly the sounds rather than the parts I don't like, and then also probably tighten up that kind of synth part that's in there as well, I would say, I think. Okay. See, I like that. I like that kick. I think it's just the hi-hat part I'm not sure about. This is... lower the velocity, maybe. Yeah, actually, that's better, I think. Okay, and then I just want to look at these parts here, which is really not going to be fun to watch if you're watching, but it's something that needs to be done. If you are watching, give me a comment or something. Let me know what you think of this so far. So right there, it's a little bit. That one is just slightly bad. Let's get rid of that. Put a little silent part in there. I like these little gaps, so I just want to make sure they're all clear. I think with a little bit of time, that could almost be a little bit John Hopkins-esque. I think a little bit. I mean, it's like a bargain version of him, but I feel like with quite a bit of work that and some filters and stuff, they could probably actually be a little bit like that. Oh, sorry, having some messing around with the cameras there. So I do want to work on this section a bit more. I think maybe even adding a snare for when the note changes, I think would be pretty cool, actually. Just need to make sure I find the right snare sounds. What have we got in this kit? Ugh, no, I don't like that. Let's try the little rim. I think what I want to do is create another kit part. I like the idea of having hi-hats on the 16ths, but then then filtering it, basically filtering the high end out and then slowly bringing the hi-hat in, so it kind of builds up to this thing. Then you have that stop, and then it goes to the next section. So how long have we got? Oh, 5 minutes. 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay. I think that's probably enough time to... Let's try the hi-hats on the 808 kit. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And actually, maybe I want them... the idea of having them kind of filter in, I'm going to try, but I actually quite like how they just come in, to be honest. It kind of works. But let's try, see how it sounds filtered. I'm actually going to also try to bring the reverse cymbal in, have it come in where just basically coming just before the everything drops out. And also I'm going to have the bass drop quite or low cut. Maybe a bit more so it sounds a little bit thinner. Okay, right, I've literally got 3 minutes. I'm just trying to think of how to end this thing. Maybe I'll just end it on a cymbal hit and have a break of everything like I've been doing. It seems a little bit lazy. Maybe just continue on a kick for a little bit. And I'll just have a filter on that. And then what I'll do as well, because there's this, yeah, it's that part that kind of continues on after. I think what I might actually do is add quite a lot of reverb to that. And I'm going to use the hybrid reverb again for that. Just have completely dry until the very end. Increase that to like 78, sure. Hang on, where is it? Oh, there it is. And then the size, I'm going to increase the size as well, so we get that kind of pitchy effect. Push the decay up as well. Oh, keep clicking the wrong one, because I'm running out of time. In fact, 1 minute and 25 to 26 seconds. Cool. Yeah, all right then. And I've got 1 minute to spare. Okay, so let's have a listen through. What I'm gonna do is add just quick mastering. I'm gonna use the Izotope Ozone, which is just fantastic. I've recently got Ozone 11. I think it was like, actually I can't remember when it was. Actually, it was probably about 2 years ago, or a year ago now. But I used to love. I think it was Ozone 7 or Ozone 8, one of those ones, early ones. I used for years. It was amazing. And I'm just going to use the deep and clarity preset. It's quite a nice go-to for anything. And then let's have a listen. And this has been an hour's work. Our timer's cutting down. We've literally got 10 seconds left. So let's have a playthrough and listen to this and see how it all sounding. I don't know.